Now, we've all seen ads telling us to slow down, not to drink and drive, and to avoid texting or even talking while driving. That means on the phone. But road tolls don't seem to have drastically altered.
To give us some practical tips and let us in on the secrets to safe driving, we're joined by ex-race car driver, safe driving coach and author of Sex and Driving, Jim McKinnon. Please make him feel welcome. Hi, Jim. Welcome to the Circle.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I'm intrigued about the title of this book, Sex and Driving. Now, surely you're not meaning doing this at the same time?
Well, hopefully not actually simultaneously, but it's the two things that are sort of taboo in the sense that they don't get talked about very much, and it's two things that no one admits they do badly. So I figure it's a good way to give it a bit of spice too, to bring the conversation back around. A little bit of sex, but maybe some driving as well.
That's the book there, Jim McKinnon. Now, we sent out our roving reporter, Sean Lynch, to learn from you about how sex and driving may or may not be linked or never should be linked.
According to some, sex and driving are the two things no one admits they do badly.
Now, I'm not about to admit I'm a bad driver, but as my girlfriend always says, there's always something a little extra you can learn. So, you know, about driving, not sex.
With an increasing amount of distractions on our roads, motorsport professional and defensive driving expert Jim McKinnon has decided to reveal a few strategies and secrets about how we can feel a little bit safer behind the wheel.
Just try not to kill anyone.
That's always a good start. What about using your left foot to brake? You ever tried that?
So, am I not meant to do that, or am I allowed to do that?
You're definitely allowed to do it, especially when you're going through like a shopping centre or somewhere that's really busy. You can have that left foot hovering over the brake.
Distance-wise, should I be...
Yeah, you want to be 2 seconds behind the car in front of you. So, as that car goes past a sign, you just want to count 1,000, 2,000, and make sure you've got that couple of seconds difference.
Shut up and drive.
My dad was like the worst backseat driver in the world. My dad would be like, "Wait, you jerk!" Where do people pick up most of their bad traits from?
I guess our whole system is that you learn to drive from your parents, and there's no guarantee that they really know what they're doing either.
You were saying it's really dangerous to drive with your phone and texting.
Texting while you're driving is just an absolute nightmare.
What about sexting?
Maybe just pull over for a minute, do your sexting, and then get back on the road. That'd be my advice.
Say sexting.
Shut up and drive.
An interesting point that was raised there by Sean and you, Jim, was that a lot of people learn to drive from their parents and thus kind of copy their parents' driving skills.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, in some cases that might be, but ultimately that could be passing down bad habits.
Oh, terribly bad habits.
Yeah.
I'm from the country, Jim, and we were just having a discussion off air then that I got taught at about, I think, age 12 or 13, in paddocks, in paddock bombs. We'd get taught on a gravel road doing 100 k's what you'd do if you swerved, that you'd never apply the brakes, you'd put it down a gear. And I think we have to maybe accept a lot more variable conditions in the country, and you'd never consider driving an automatic. You'd be laughed upon. You'd say, you're learning to drive a manual, George, is what my parents would say. Do you think all drivers need to be put through those sort of conditions before they're allowed to get their licence?
I think that'd be fantastic, because that's all great experience, and the horrible thing is a lot of the time when someone gets into an emergency situation, it's all new. When they press the brake and they feel the ABS sort of pulsing underneath their foot, that's a new experience. We should be practising those things so that in an emergency we've got some idea of what's going to happen.
I just want to sit here and talk about the ABS pulsing under your foot for a bit longer. But can we just get to an interesting point? Because both Ita and I learnt to drive and got our licences quite late. Right. You were 40 when you got yours.
Yeah, I didn't learn to drive. Well, neither of my parents drove.
Okay.
So I wasn't taught by my parents. So I went to driving school and I didn't learn until I was 40.
Sure.
I must have been mad. I mean, what's stupid? How stupid in there? It's just fantastic being able to drive. But I went and did an advanced course afterwards, and I found that really beneficial, because I think I encountered some of those things you were talking about, George, you know, about unexpected situations, and that helped me handle it a bit better, because I was a bit nervous in the beginning, as we all are.
Yes, look, I think defensive driving courses are great for that experience, and also just trying to change people's mindsets. It's a lot of people drive around thinking, you know, I'm in a rush, I've got to get there, I'm late, I've got to go, I've got to go, I've got to go. And if we can just sort of wind that back and say, well, is it safe to go? As the way we think about when we come to an intersection or a roundabout, that sort of changes the whole way that you drive.
Yeah.
And it's quite a simple shift.
Jim, tell us about this 2-second rule that you have.
Okay, so the 2-second rule is just about giving a safety buffer between your vehicle and the vehicles around you. And really, it applies at any speed. So at 60, you're driving along, the vehicle in front of you goes past a stop sign, and you just make sure that you're 2 seconds behind that vehicle before you pass that same stop sign. And it applies at any speed. So at 100 or at 60 or at 40, it works in every situation. And it's a really easy one.
I'm a driving nerd. I have actually heckled someone out of the car. What about the 2-second rule?
Well, you and me both, but I think, yeah, there might be only two of us.
Hey, what do you think about driving instructors? All of mine were the biggest creeps, and they would squeeze into their little Corolla, and they were all called Keith.
Yes, I've never met anyone not called Keith.
They're all creepy. Did you have any?
I'm trying to think what his name was. I think it might have been Keith.
It was Keith. I assure you it was Keith, and he barely...
But he wasn't a nerd. He was a wonderful driver. He used to say to me, Ida, you've got to go around the corner and not spill a cup of tea.
Oh, how boring.
Take it gently.
No.
What a stressful job.
Jim, it is kind of fun driving fast, I have to say.
Yeah, in the right situation,
Yumi?
absolutely.
I'm just saying the truth.
Yumi?
So
You're a terrible driver.
I'm a terrible driver, but gee, I have fun. And the thing that I yell out the window is, can't you just drive a bit more aggressively? I'm in a hurry.
You should. I'm taking your licence off you right now. Give me the scissors. You're off the road.
No, but okay, so we've got the 2-second rule.
Yeah.
The not spilling the cup of tea, thanks, Keith. And the not in a hurry. How do I travel safely, not quickly? Are they the main things we need to do?
It's a defensive mindset. So
Leave home in time to get to where you're going. That's what it's all about.
And sort out your tyres. What are you talking about?
I think we're going to have some of this really, really fantastic and helpful information on our website, Jim. So thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.